Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited about this one here tonight. In prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where certainly all music and wrestling matters. Sportswire Radio, because boy, our guest here was certainly a busy man. You know, some people on Memorial Day were certainly laying back, having a few cold ones, cooking a couple of burgers, maybe catching a ball game, maybe catching sun waves with the family. Nope, not our guest, because our guest was busy. And let's just say he scrambled to a huge victory that maybe once again puts him back in LAW championship contention. I'll talk about that. I'll also talk about a match coming up that's going to be for an NWA championship, a Midwestern one. I'm also going to talk about a match with a Soul Taker where he might say no souls matter, but I just saw him with a guy I've interviewed, Savio Vega. That's right. We're going to talk about all of that, plus who knows whatever else, because after all, we've got the devil in the blue coat. And I'll maybe even have some announcements. I'll maybe even have some surprises, and who knows whatever else. But since our guest is here at his usual spot, maybe I was thinking about not doing that introduction. Maybe I was thinking about just giving him the, well, hello, everybody. It's Godrick Sandwell, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, your reigning, defending Express Wrestling Three Rivers champion. Not so fast. We don't do things that way here on Sportswire Radio. We have 1,500 plus subscribers, and we just heard from not too long ago some guy you probably heard of named ECW legend, the Pitbull Gary Wolf. But as I always say, in the famous words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, because I see my chat's wanting it, our guest is definitely wanting it, and I want to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So, with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one global sports show. A man that is certainly a devil in a blue coat. He's the reigning, defending Express Wrestling Three Rivers champion. His name is simply put the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick the champ is here. My friend, how are we doing?
So much better after hearing a lot of talking heads a little bit earlier in some meetings, but hearing such a gallant introduction as always lifts my spirits.
Yeah, I mean, I really went the extra mile for them because my voice the last few days has started to hurt. But I think I'm okay. I didn't really talk a lot today. The last 3 days, I spoke plenty. I was on Sportswire for 7.5 hours in 3 days, but that's how it goes. We certainly do things differently here. As much as we love Henry, I don't quite think Henry gave that introduction last night to you, but we'll certainly give him a pass because he's got 50 plus years, obviously, in this sport. But Godrick Sandwell, the gentleman of exquisite caliber. For those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you excel, Express Wrestling and LAW most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio to the tune of over 1,500 subscribers. How does it feel to have brought home the W for LAW last night in Parkersburg, West Virginia?
Before I go into those thoughts, I would actually like to offer an in-person, or as in-person as can be, congratulations for the 1,500 subscribers, by the way.
I appreciate
That's quite an impressive feat.
It's definitely been a grind. It's been a journey. I have fought for every one of them, but the truth is it's people like you and the people that come here every day, all the wrestlers, the wrestling companies that decided that they wanted to subscribe here. And Michael McMoney, of course, was the man that actually got us over the 1,500 subscriber milestone. So we're forever grateful and in debt to LAW. But thank you very much.
Well, still, congratulations are most certainly in order. Had I have your address, I would send you a slice of lava cake to celebrate.
I
but
think by the time I would get it here in Staten Island, I think at that point it probably have melted, or just it would be something I think I'd have to just maybe put in for my 5th grade science project, which I'd have to redo probably. But hey, you never know.
Perhaps.
I think Timothy Titan might ask you that the next time you're on the Indie Vision podcast, but I won't ask you those questions. Don't you worry. We're in prime time.
Well, I do appreciate that. I don't need to be put on any more of a spot than they have done in the past.
We're not going to do that. We're in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. We certainly we get to the point. But no, it's a huge victory for LAW and a huge victory for you. And let's talk about it.
Well, let's. Yeah, there were 5 other individuals in that match, 2 alongside me representing LAW, and 3 gentlemen representing a new promotion to me. I understand these guys have been around for quite some time. Of Battle on the Border, it was intriguing to say the very least. And I do have to confess that 3 of their competitors, all intriguing in their own ways, including let me think here, the forgettable one, Ethan Evans, who it didn't exactly live up to his moniker, because I have to say I have not forgotten what antics he brought in that match.
I had a chance to watch the show, and I want to thank Mary, I think it's Bonahay, and somebody might correct me for the pronunciation of that, but she actually posted part 1 and 2 of the show on her Facebook page. So if you want to watch kind of like a fan cam of it, you can do that. And I was talking to you off the air before we came on. I was like, what happened there at the beginning of that match? Because basically he just wanted to be eliminated. And that was kind of bizarre in itself.
Yeah, bizarre doesn't quite put quite the twist on it. But I mean, if that's
have you seen anything like that in your career? Because I don't remember seeing anything like that, other than maybe the finger poke of doom. But that was, a different time in a different world.
I mean, I've heard the stories. I've seen footage of similar things to the aforementioned finger poke of doom, but nothing that this gentleman has quite experienced just yet. So
yeah,
that's a first.
But obviously, no, you in the ring with different people. We talked about this with McMoney Friday on the show, and obviously people that you don't regularly know. But sure, you had teammates in LAW, Judo Jones, who's here. Certainly shout out to him. Maybe one of these days we'll bring him on.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Phoenix, another up-and-comer. But it wasn't really a battle on the border versus LAW match technically. It was a scramble match. Everybody was kind of for themselves, but you still get the win for LAW. And it was a big one because you were actually outnumbered. You were outmanned here. You were outnumbered 2-1 here toward the end of the match, and there was certainly a lot of moments where we didn't know what was going to happen, and you found a way to pull through. You figuratively and literally scrambled out of this match with the W for LAW.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know how I manage these things, but well, suffice it to say, I was proud to represent LAW, and I was proud to get that win not only for them, but clearly I needed that win more than
You definitely
anybody in
needed it.
that ring.
You were a big topic the last 2 weeks or so on Sportswire since your last appearance. Titan spoke about it. Certainly McMoney. Courtney was here. I mean, Jameson didn't even want to talk about it. Day Jameson, I'm referring to. I mean, this was really a big point of contention on this platform is what is Godrick Sandwell going to do after coming up short against La El Shaddai? But despite a match that was really originally supposed to have been one way, came out to be a different way. You're in the ring with different opponents, but you got a huge victory. And I think it's certainly something that you needed to get you back on track here in LAW.
I do agree with that, and I guess the only question I really have is, does this victory put me on the track to get back to La El Shaddai? I should say. I'm getting a little excited for my own taste right now, but regardless, do I get back on the track to La El Shaddai sooner rather than later, or is Mr. Horror going to have something to say about it and make me wait again?
Well, I think that's obviously a question is what is the future of La El Shaddai? Obviously, he was very impressive last night. Obviously, Michael McMoney and Matt Vengeance, certainly what he did to Matt Vengeance especially. But, I mean, do you feel with what you did here representing LAW that you should get one more shot? I mean, obviously, you were the guy that's been the closest so far. There's no question. You've been right there. I mean, you've been right there. You've been so close. But yet, where do we go from here with you? I mean, do you feel that now what you did for LAW, that almost does that make you the number one contender again?
Well, it wasn't exactly a number one contenders match on paper. If it was, nobody made me aware of it. But will that give me, at minimum, a strong argument to put me back in title contention? I would definitely say yes to that question.
Because I think if you look at it, Judo was here in the chat on Friday, and he talked about, obviously, what would it mean to him. Chris Phoenix is also an up-and-coming talent. Obviously, he was a part of the match, and there's no question if either one of them had won and they had been the survivor to get the victory for LAW, I think maybe they would certainly have the same argument, and especially the landscape right now in LAW, seeing some of the different things that happened here in aftermath. Maybe it is kind of where we were a couple of months ago. Godrick Sandwell's been here. Godrick Sandwell has continued to wave the flag for LAW. Godrick Sandwell has fought. Godrick Sandwell, listen, you could have easily, after what's been thrown at you and the disappointment and the adversity that you dealt with after coming up short yet again and not winning the big one, especially when the odds a lot of people felt were in your favor against La El Shaddai, you could have easily in that match got the first elimination. You could have been the guy that could have just certainly said, you know what? You could have saw it on your face. But yet, despite even what you went through in that match, being handicapped several times in the match, you thought you had your opponents and you still dealt with all of that. And maybe it goes back to the point that Michael McMoney made about you is that it's not a permanent no with Godrick Sandwell. It's just a not yet. And you used Monday as an opportunity to pick yourself back up off the mat and say, you know what? I ain't going anywhere anytime soon, and I should get one more crack at La El Shaddai.
And I do agree with that statement 100%. I couldn't have said that any better, as a matter of fact, because do I want La El Shaddai again? I'm not wearing the appropriate color for this, but I really don't care. I agree with that.
I got that. You're technically
no. It's quite all right. You can still call me that if you wish, because well, I guess maybe being a devil in a blue coat isn't what's going to take La El Shaddai down. But if descending into the Inferno is not what's going to beat him, maybe it's time for me to go the other way. Maybe my answer lies in paradise instead.
Well, that certainly could be the case. I'm going to put LAW's YouTube link up here in a minute. I know there's some people here. We want to talk about this for a little bit because, what's going through your mind in that match? Because obviously you get the first pin, or technically the first
Sort
pin
of.
eliminated. Yeah, as much as technically is. But then Jones and Phoenix get eliminated. You're outnumbered here 2-1. You've obviously dealt with that adversity of coming up short against La El Shaddai. What's going through your mind throughout that match? And are you battling yourself here to get through and pick up that W? Walk me through what's going through your mind in that match last night.
Well, first and foremost, if it couldn't have been me that picked up that victory, I really would have rather have been either Chris Phoenix or Judo Jones, just for the sake of solidarity. And in my eyes, they're some of the best people I've ever come across.
Yeah, Judo is definitely somebody that I have strong feelings for, and I think Phoenix is on his way too. I agree with you completely.
And he's a very good person. He's been nothing but great to me, so I will say nothing ill of him.
Amen.
I will not speak ill of anyone at Battle on the Border either. It's my first time meeting them. I have nothing disparaging to say about them. Everybody that I've talked to, that I've had the chance
it was
to.
just a match of competition, and we were obviously looking to get a win here for LAW, and Battle on the Border was looking for the same thing.
Exactly. So it was business, not personal, and we all as professionals understand that. As for some of the mindset, aside from the what just happened with Mr. Evans, as I was trying to process that first technically elimination, I'm still baffled even right now.
Yeah, it was. I asked you about it, and you were like, "Yeah, it was." Just in itself, it was. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen anything like that, and I feel like I watch a lot of wrestling. So you're going through that, and then you're out. Like I said, Jones and Phoenix get eliminated.
Yeah, which is unfortunately the case. Which for LAW means I'm the last representative there. But at that point, it's okay. 2 Battle on the Border, 1 LAW. Well, let me show them what LAW exactly can do. And if a gentleman must do it, then let a gentleman do it.
You said that, sure, we would have been happy if LAW got the win. You would have been happy if Phoenix and Jones had got the win. They're your teammates. And yeah, I think obviously here at LAW, we wanted that victory. But I kind of feel like that it wouldn't have rung the same if they got the win, because you have been so close, we know, when it comes to that LAW championship. We know that just what it meant to a lot of people to have seen you win and coming up short. We would have been here tonight, and it would have been the aftermath of, here we go again. Godrick Sandwell comes up short yet again. Godrick Sandwell, he's so far. Godrick Sandwell, just where can he go from here? So I feel like that's not the case anymore. Now we're back to where we were 3 months ago. So I feel like, in a way, that sure, it would have been great to see LAW win, or either one of them, Jones or Phoenix, win. But I think if that was the case and you didn't win and were eliminated early on, I don't know if we'd have that same conversation. I don't think it'd feel as good if either one of them had won, to tell you the truth.
Feelings be what they may. LAW would have won. That would have been my standpoint on that one. But obviously, I would be lying if I said, if I had the choice between the 3 of us to win, I would have chosen me. I know Judo would have chosen himself. I know Chris would have chosen himself. And I understand that 100%. But again, if anybody needed that victory to get back to where they needed to be, it was me in the worst way. And
absolutely. And I think that was, to me, yesterday was about Godrick Sandwell did pick himself up off the mat. Godrick Sandwell's not eliminated. Like Michael McMoney said, it's not yet. That means Godrick Sandwell's alive. You are very much alive for who should get that next shot at La El Shaddai. And I think if you did not pick up the W or eliminated last night in Parkersburg, West Virginia, 325 7th Street in the Richardson building, I don't think that we would have this conversation and talk about those same things that way. I just don't think so.
I believe you would be correct in that regards. And for what it's worth, say Judo or say Chris would have picked up that victory instead of me, I would hope one of those two names, whoever would have won, would have been in that conversation instead of me. Just because I know both of them.
And obviously, look, it's a huge victory for LAW, and we're obviously very happy that LAW showed something. And I have no doubt that the future is very strong in LAW. And I do want to, by the way, before we do anything else here, I want to put up the LAW YouTube links here because there's definitely a lot of stuff out there that you should most certainly be checking out here because I'm telling you, it's definitely worth it. So I know they'll definitely have some footage here coming up very soon. The new season of FUTV is coming out. Definitely go out and check it out. If you want to hit the sub button, LAW is at 159 subscribers. We've been certainly slowly helping them inch up those numbers. And if you're here tonight and you haven't hit the sub button for LAW, give them one more. That'll put them at 160, and every one counts. Trust me, I know it firsthand. So go out there. Please support LAW, and we would certainly appreciate that. So, okay, so obviously you get a big victory. No question. We're back on track. And would you have words for La El Shaddai if he were out there? And would you, feel, because, I should probably bring it up to you, since I know you probably won't want to tune into this one, but, you'll be, certainly somebody will be telling you about this. Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, when Tommy Horror is here. Tommy Horror is here live on Sportswire Radio, and I'm sure you'll be listening to that. And, I'm going to definitely bring up La El Shaddai there. And, is there any words you might have for Mr. La El Shaddai? Should Mr. Horror maybe want to relay that message to him?
The only thing that I will say at this particular moment is to La El Shaddai, if you're hearing this from the Malabulge or if the message has to go directly through Mr. Horror, which is fine, you may have gotten the better of me in our previous encounter. I'm big enough to admit that. I'm big enough to admit that I may be a mere mortal compared to a Cambion. I'm fine with that. But the best thing about being a gentleman, the best thing about having a study, yes, I know it's not in my background right this very minute. I'm aware. Yeah. I'm a self-aware type of a cat.
These last several months. It's all good. It's all good.
But unlike most competitors that would rather skulk in the shadows or bathe in a spotlight that really doesn't belong to them at a particular moment, I would rather sit in the study, whether it's by candlelight, whether it's by a flashlight, it doesn't really matter to me because I will study the tapes, I will study the transcripts, and I will figure out exactly where things went wrong. And I must say, La El Shaddai, I'm getting pretty close to figuring out what exactly went wrong with our previous encounter. And you may want to dodge me for a little while. Because if that's the case, and I've actually figured out what it is to get to you, La El Shaddai, well, then this gentleman is coming to claim a championship that, you know what? I'm getting a little steamed right now.
This is Godrick like we've not seen him yet on Sportswire. He don't need no blue coat. He don't need to be anything else. This is, you know what? We might see it one more time. La El Shaddai and Godrick Sandwell. After what Godrick Sandwell did last night, 325 7th Street, the Richardson building in Parkersburg, West Virginia, where he scrambled and got a huge victory for LAW and put LAW on the map and saying to the wrestling world that LAW is here and LAW is here to stay. Could Godrick Sandwell no longer be that gentleman of exquisite caliber and show that he wants one more shot at La El Shaddai? That's what it sounds like to me on prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And it looks like Godrick Sandwell, he might be ready. And this time it very well could be different because he picked himself up right off that mat last night, Memorial Day. And the aftermath, he's learned from the aftermaths of his wars with La El Shaddai. He's certainly not going to cease and desist. He's certainly going to know now. He's definitely not guilty by association because he's no longer that devil in the blue coat. He's morphed into something else because he scrambled with a huge victory that very well this time could give him that LAW championship.
That, quite frankly, should be mine right now. That LAW championship should be mine right now, but enjoy it while it lasts because I'm coming to collect it.
Ooh, he's coming to
It's not a matter. It's not a matter of if. It's not a matter of when I get that shot. It's when it will. It's just when's it going to happen? When's it going to be? Just give me the time. Give me the place. I don't care if it's in Parkersburg. I don't care if it's here. My championship.
We'd love to have that match here on Sportswire. You better believe we'd love to have that match here live. You want to see it one more time? You want to see La El Shaddai and Godrick Sandwell Part 3? You better believe we'll show that match here live on Sportswire Radio. We're in prime time, baby. We've got 1,500 plus subscribers and some. Yeah, we'll definitely take that match. But you better believe I'm going to be asking Tommy Horror about that match this Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. You best believe I'm going to get his certainly hard-hitting analysis on that. He'll certainly think differently, but you certainly want to stay tuned to that. And if you're here right now, you most certainly want to go relive some of those magic moments with Godrick Sandwell and La El Shaddai. Hit that sub button for LAW. I see a bunch of people here. The chat's starting to come in here, so make sure you get out there because Godrick Sandwell, now he's starting to learn. He's starting to learn. He's dealt with the adversity. He's picked himself off the mat, and now he's certainly ready. He's primed and poised for yet maybe one more shot with La El Shaddai, and most certainly it could very well be different. So I'll tell you what, I'm very, very excited about that. But, you know, there's something else that I want to talk about. You have a couple of different things. I'm going to watch your most recent match in Express Wrestling. We'll get to that in a little while. But I want to talk to you about something. We've been talking about this a lot here on Sportswire Radio the last, I would say, week or so, is that Timothy Titan, obviously we know him, Money Mark Media, Indie Vision Podcast. Timothy Titan is here Monday, 13 days from now. He's here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, same bat channel. And he's going to be talking about a show that you're going to be a part of, Money Mark Media, alongside Excel Wrestling. You're going to have a match with a man that I just saw the other day, side by side with a man I've interviewed, WWE legend, one Savio Vega, and I am talking about the Soul Taker. He may say no souls matter, but you, Godrick Sandwell, you're going to be in the ring with him coming up on June 13th. Let's talk about that, and especially for those that are listening and watching here on Prime Time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. You have yet maybe another big showdown, and maybe that is a precursor to La El Shaddai one more time. But let's talk about Excel Wrestling alongside Money Mark Media, June 13th, you and the Soul Taker.
Well, as I'm trying to come down from La El Shaddai a little bit, but now I got to raise my stakes up to the Soul Taker.
You know, on Indie Vision Media, you can just go down and, you know, they'll try to figure out what question. They'll ask you, are you smarter than a fifth grade? Nah, not so fast here, to quote Lee Corso. We're in prime time. We've had the big boys here. So we get right to the point. So you got to stay on basically 110, like they said, with or 11, like Spinal Tap said, every time, in every question you're here on Sportswire. You know that by now.
Yes, I do. And you know what? Soul Taker has interested me for quite some time. I've actually spoken with him a little bit. I haven't gotten much out of him, unfortunately, but that's okay.
You guys have some history together in Express Wrestling, that we know.
It's a very brief history. It's not too much to really, shoot the ether, so to speak.
We've watched it here on Sportswire in the past.
But bottom line is, well, Soul Taker, I've always respected you. I've always had a great admiration for you. But, well, if you have to represent the forces of darkness, then that's perfectly fine. And if you want to come for the more nobler soul of a gentleman of exquisite caliber, well, it don't come easy. You can ask La El Shaddai about that one. I may have went down, but I don't go down easily. And my soul is going to stay right with me.
I want to ask you this question, and I see Daniel Tafua here. Tafua certainly had some memorable wars with him in LAW. Will you be talking to Daniel Tafua about his experiences with the Soul Taker in order to prepare you for 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania on June 13th, 2 weeks from Friday?
As a matter of fact, I will. I have to actually thank him for helping me out with that. Como se dice? Present in that mask that he had lent me the last
Yes.
time I faced La El Shaddai. But be that as it may, if anybody has experience with the Soul Taker that I can call upon, Daniel Tahua
Yes,
would be right
everyone's
at the
saying that.
top of that list.
Tafua! Yes, everyone loves to say Daniel Tafua. Yes, and there's no question that he had some memorable battles with him, and he certainly came out of them. I think certainly a lot stronger. I think he came out of them as somebody that learned a lot. And you've, again, you've been in the ring with him on the same apron briefly, but there's no question that he's got a lot more experience with him. But this is a big money match. This is a card here. I mean, we've been talking a lot about this. Dave Jameson's on the card against obviously the artist formerly known as Fuego del Sol. This is a big deal here. Excel Wrestling coming up, and obviously it's something that I think in a building that you're very well known, and it's a build almost like for you might want to say, unlike in LAW sometimes, maybe where you've got an advantage here coming up is that this is kind of like your home field advantage, your true home ring advantage, because we know how much the fans are always behind you here in 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania. And just maybe that's what's going to make you feel confident to walk away with the W and lead you into wherever else you're going to go here coming up.
Well, you certainly hit the nail on the head on that one. A home field advantage, and against an entity like the Soul Taker, as much as I hate stooping to these type of measures, I'm going to need every advantage I'm going to get.
You are. I mean, the man, look at his size, and he just teamed in the last week with Savio Vega, a man that I have interviewed. So there's no question this man has been in the ring with some of the very best. So you're stepping up here. I mean, this is certainly a challenge that you have in your career that it's right up there with La El Shaddai. It's a different match, certainly going to be a different style, but it's a first time match, and it's another big fight match for you. You have a really big last few months here that you've had, and this is going to be right in the middle of it, more or less.
Yes, it is. But I promise you this: for the Soul Taker, oh, I'm beyond ready for it. That's a cat that I've kept my eyes on for quite some time. As I said, I've gotten a chance to actually shake hands and attempt to talk to him, but once we get in the middle of that squared circle, in the middle of that hallowed ground in McKeesport, well, no words will need to be spoken.
And there he is. He's right there with the man that I've interviewed, Savio Vega. What a small world. And wrestling is definitely an interesting one, because look at these two men and the wealth of experience that they have. And you're going to be facing one of those men here. You've certainly been in there recently with guys that have had a lot of experience, a lot of big fight feels. And this is one of them. And you're going to certainly be talking a lot about this here. Money Mark Media and Excel Wrestling. I did want to ask you for a minute before I get to the chat, and we'll talk about some other stuff you have coming up. I want to talk about certainly another big championship match you have, but I want to watch your most recent match in Express Wrestling. But Excel Wrestling now is kind of almost like the offshoot of Express Wrestling, kind of like the NXT, almost the developmental, if you want to say, of Express Wrestling. And what is your thoughts on that, and just being a part of that and seeing now that we'll have almost another opportunity for more talent with Excel Wrestling here?
When it was first told to me, the details were a little bit hazy, but as things had developed more and more and more over subsequent time, as it has been described, kind of think of it like an NXT equivalent. And as a matter of fact, if I could have a chance to help the next generation step up for when I have to step down, I'm more than happy to help. I love to see anybody get an opportunity that will fight, that will scratch, that will claw their way to be there. I love to see it.
And what's your thoughts? Yeah, we've been talking a lot about this. The fact that the artist formerly known as Fuego del Sol is going to be on this card. I mean, that's got to be exciting in itself to share a locker room with this man. I mean, this is a man that, I mean, so many people on my platform have talked about over the years. And, just from afar, I know you've got certainly your hands full with the Soul Taker, but just, from afar, what's your thoughts on sharing a locker room with the artist formerly known as Fuego del Sol here coming up?
Well, to say it would be an honor and a privilege would be about as apropos as I can get. Now, I will also say, if my memory serves, he's had a bit of a change of heart of recently. Is that correct to say?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's doing things differently these days. Yeah, he has definitely been doing things differently. Sure. Yep.
As much as I respect taking a different approach to life, a different approach to professional wrestling, I respect that. That doesn't mean I have to agree with it. That doesn't mean I have to like it, but that's okay. But but I guess the real question is, can me and Mr. Orso just have a simple conversation? That would be all I would want.
Okay, well, I have all right. On a lighter note, who do you got, Freddie or Jason?
um,
Who do you got?
I have me screaming and running for the hills the opposite direction.
I have to tell you, objectively speaking, I'm really not a horror fan, even though I just sat through Mission Impossible yesterday. But I've never been like a horror movie fan. So yeah, Freddie and Jason. I guess Halloween came early, but I guess the winner is 2125 Beacon Street in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. But yeah, Freddie versus Jason, and Jace Carr and Brohemoth, obviously somebody else you know very well. And it almost seems like an Indie Vision podcast reunion with some of you guys. You got Day, yourself, Brohemoth. You got Jace Carr. I mean, boy, maybe we should, it's almost like we should just do like almost like an Indie Vision like podcast, show almost, and get everybody like in a fatal four-way. Maybe they should do like a fatal four-way, like of like the indie, like the winners, like the best Indie Vision podcast, because Pepper's got the Indie Vision champions. I can't go with that route, but I don't know, but maybe somebody here will be like, okay, now we're not going to come on Sportswire. Tommy and and Titan are going to be like, okay, now we're not coming back on. But no, I thought that was kind of funny there, but
Well, I mean, talk about a cornucopia of talents and personalities. I'll say that. But
yeah.
actually, I can actually make a little bit of a proposal on that one, if I may.
You should do anything you want. We're live.
Okay, all right. Instead of for an Indie Vision championship, because as you mentioned, Pepper Pride is the champion right now. Instead of just simply for bragging rights, why not make it a fatal four-way, let's just say, for example, for a number one contendership for the
That's
Indie
a good
Vision
idea.
championship?
That's a great idea. I mean, we've had certainly 4 guests so far, and that could be rather amusing or entertaining. And that would be, I would love to see that. Jace, Day, yourself, and we know Day and certainly Jace have history, and obviously yourself, and that'd be really interesting. I think that would be a good idea, Brohemoth. Yeah, that would be a really, really good idea. I mean, it's some interesting faces. And Silas Walker just said it would be interesting to see some familiar faces from this platform as well. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be there on June 13th. What do you like that? So it is going to be like a reunion. Yeah, hopefully they let Silas into the locker room to see everybody, because somebody winking and nod is helping him get to the show. So, but if you want to watch the Indie Vision Network podcast, give them a plug. Check out the stuff. They'll have some more podcast stuff. They've got a new artwork here, kind of like their own poster. I can't get the full thing up here, but that's okay. But they'll have a lot of cool stuff up. Give them a plug. Kevin, by the way, Kevin from Ring Crew is coming here on June 26th. I mean, at this point, maybe they should just take over here on Sportswire. They're coming here so much. Maybe they just want to come here and they could just, take the 1,500 subscribers. I don't want to do this anymore. Let them have it. You can deal with them every month. I have a feeling no one's going to seem to want that idea. But all right, let's get to the chat, because I want to talk about another big match you have coming up at the main Express Wrestling show. And I want to talk about your match you just had recently. I want to show it on the screen, because I know Timothy did, but I want to get your perspective on it. But let's get to everybody here in the chat. Zilla is in the house. She would like to say hello. She was first. Thank you. I bought you time because actually I was glad you were a few minutes late because unfortunately I went to Burger King and Burger King didn't agree with me, so I needed to go to the
Ooh.
bathroom and so yeah, I was hungry and I just didn't have enough time to eat, but that's okay. We're here and I'm fine and we're all fine and I was wondering now this guy Joshua Kavad. Now I know
Oh.
obviously you probably heard of him. What do you think? Should he come on Sportswire? Because apparently this guy, put out a post on Facebook looking to come on podcast. Now, like obviously, I saw that nobody tagged Sportswire, so maybe he wants to start out small. Maybe he wants to go on the Indie Vision podcast. Maybe he wants to go on this the guy Throwdown with Matt, the old guy who interviews different people. There's now Young Lurch, Blaze the Bingo Hall. There's all these other different podcasters, which is great. More power to him. I certainly say God bless. But I was wondering. Nobody said he should come to Sportswire because I mean this is the big leagues. I mean I would think a guy like him with big league experience, he doesn't even have to put a post on Facebook. He should just come on the Sportswire. What is your opinion on that?
Well, if you're asking me for a recommendation, I
Yeah.
would put Joshua Kavad right at the top of that
So you
list of
think that
guests
really
you
he
need
shouldn't
on
even
here.
have,
No
so
doubt
you
about it.
think that he really shouldn't have to go put a solicitation for podcast because I mean this one, as we've stated, look at the names. I mean yourself included, obviously. Look at the heavyweights that have been here. So I would think that he shouldn't really need to put a post out on Facebook. I mean he's been here in the chat. So obviously with his background, I would think that all he has to do is just, ask for it. Ask and you shall receive. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it would be that simple. The only thing I would ask is if Mr. Kavad would get on here, just give a little bit of credit to yours truly, the gentleman of exquisite caliber. That's all I ask.
Well, certainly not bring up "Are you smarter than a fifth grader?" questions, but it was Godrick's night. Thank you, Judo. Obviously, we certainly love the
Thank you, Judah. I appreciate that.
music. Yep. How you doing there? Yep. Courtney's in the house. Courtney obviously did a great job doing the pre-show, and I certainly saw you were the last one that Courtney interviewed, so that was a great little thing to see. I got a chance to watch that while I was eating, so that was great. Hey, Mr. Sandwell, I just want to stop by and say hi and thank you for bringing home the victory for LAW last night. Well done. It was a much-needed victory for LAW, no question about it.
It was an honor and a pleasure, I assure you, Miss Popular.
And we're very excited to see some of this on YouTube. If you are on Facebook and you want to watch some of the show, friend Mary, I think it's Bonahay. I don't know exactly how to say her name, but if she's out there, Mary, thank you for allowing me to watch the show because she's friended me on Facebook. But there you go. So friend her on Facebook, and she'll say that she loved Ethan Evans. Ethan Edwards is a UK guest I've had on for years, but Ethan Evans is super talented, but we didn't get to see much of him though.
Yeah, I wish I would have seen a little bit more of him besides the big old ear to ear grin, but maybe another time, and I would relish the opportunity, of course.
Well, real quick, follow up on that. We'll get to more people in the chat. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. We're here with the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, the reigning defending Three Rivers champion from Express Wrestling. If you're here, hit the sub button for LAW. Hit the sub button for us. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here on a Tuesday night. But do you want to see more of LAW in Battle on the Border? Do you want to see more of that in the future? Is that something that you'd like to see more down the road of?
Absolutely. I say the more the merrier. The more individuals that come, the more individuals that Godrick Sandwell can have a little tussle with if they're so inclined.
Stay tuned about that. Maybe we'll get more of that in the future. Obviously, Nolan Money McDermott, you may be confused, but that's okay. You tuned in. We appreciate you.
I'm better built than him, by the way.
Yeah, well, you know what? You would have been able to have kept Britt Baker, and he couldn't. So I'll leave that at that for a different incident. But there's my guy. There is Michael McMoney, who certainly went through his own hardcore pain yesterday, certainly.
Yeah. I do not envy his position with Lot El Shaddai or Mad Vengeance.
Okay. I hope he's feeling okay to be back on Sportswire. He's here. I think he's here on the 13th. I think he's here. I think he'll remind me what day, but he's here around the same time that the week of the show. That is my guy. Congratulations. Thank you for the big win. Yes, big win for you and LAW. There's your teammate there from LAW from last night's scramble match, Chris Phoenix. What's up, my brother? Chris, another guy that we want to certainly get onto the
Phoenix. Honor and
Let's
pleasure as always.
let's get to some more people. I think at LAW Monday it was a pretty good show. My favorite was Piper. I met some of the guys at the hotel. Battle of the Border guys were great people. I want that back in Parkersburg. See, somebody read my mind.
Okay.
I think that that's something. I think it would be great, and I think what we're seeing now with Excel Wrestling, kind of that NXT development of Express Wrestling, what we saw with LAW on Battle on the Border. I think these are things that give people more opportunities, and I think that that's what wrestling should be about. So I think if we're all small ponds and we can make those ponds grow a bit, I think that'll help, and it gives more people opportunities. Well said.
Yes,
We
indeed.
showed
Yes, indeed.
Battle on the Border guys what we are at law about. Yes, absolutely. No question that
Mhm.
was LAW's coming out party. And if you want to see more of LAW here in the future, hit the sub button for LAW content. That's the way to go.
Mhm. Agreed.
Shaddai is no joke. You know that better than anybody, but you're the guy that's come closest. You're the guy that's been right there. Right there.
I don't need the reminder.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We got a lot more comments. You got a lot of comments here. We're gonna go on. There's thank you, Zilla. Thank you, Zilla. Ethan Evans. Definitely check out Ethan Evans in Battle on the Border Wrestling. Definitely check out his content. And you never know. Maybe you'll see Battle on the Border guys on Sportswire. You just never know. You never know who will show up here. And the man, you say his name, he'll appear like Joe Hendry. Daniel Tafura,
Ooh.
the Mighty Liga, is here. The mask finally opened your mind.
Yeah, maybe that was the case, and I just wasn't quite as ready for how open it made it. But I'll get my mind around it, whether I have to go back to the Inferno or whether I have to go to Paradise to do it. But La El Shaddai's time, it's coming up, and it's going to be on a gentleman's dime.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely something that people, I think, and I know the fans are behind you because of what we saw last night. Those chants were deafening. Those chants were loud. Godrick, Godrick, Godrick. And they were behind you. That was a rabid crowd there at 325 7th Street, the Richardson Building in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Those fans, they were behind you decidedly. So there's no question that people want to see it one more time. And I think that that's something that's to be continued. Watch your back with the Soul Taker. There you go. Certainly advice from Daniel Tafua and my man Silas Walker, who will be there on June 13th. And he's our DBW Global Champion and General Manager. And he's obviously excited. Big fan of yours. I'm happy he's here. Courtney's got Freddie.
Right? Okay.
I think Freddie... Did Freddie make more movies? If you go on the how many movies they make, Freddie had the edge. But somebody will quote me. KJ, who's definitely somebody known in the backyard, as Day had mentioned, is an old friend of mine. I'm really excited to see him perform. You know, it's kind of like you were all right because we do a lot of backyard and underground wrestling on this platform. He's kind of like in some ways Will Ospreay, in some ways Speedball Mike Bailey, guys that have come up from the yard or the underground and have made it to the big leagues. And I think that that's why, like, for this platform, it's a really big deal to see this matchup. And I think Day talked about it also when he was here. He certainly, I mean, he tried to find out information on him in the JCW show. And, you know, certainly that was one thing for another time. But I think it means a lot to a lot of people. And Tommy Hara would win the Indie Vision Fatal 4-Way. But he's not in the match, but okay.
Yeah, that's not really making a lot of sense to me, but okay.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out, but we'll find out. Yes, hit the sub button for Indie Vision Network. Do hit their subs.
Absolutely.
It'll be about that. I'm not inviting myself into any locker room. LOL. I'll be arriving as a fan though, and hopefully having some conversation. Yeah, definitely have conversation. No, I'm going to tell you right now. Have conversations and tell them that I said so. So yeah, because I'm paying for a ticket. So yeah, go have show up.
Actually, a little bit of a return of a favor from some time ago, Mr. Walker. You left the door actually open for me. As far as I'm concerned, at Express, this gentleman is not very difficult to find either. If you seek me in specific, I'm more than happy to set a little time aside for you and have any kind of conversation you'd like. Like I said, I'm not hard to find.
We'll have to find out. No, I think obviously that's something that we'll say stay tuned. a Fatal 4 #1 contender for the Indie Division Championship, I should be in that match. Well, just to remind you, these are over guests that have been on the Indie Division podcast. So, I mean, we can certainly expand those numbers, but you have to be interviewed.
Absolutely.
See, this is how it works, because you've been interviewed by the guys.
Mhm.
Jameson's been interviewed by the guys.
Mhm.
Eamon's been interviewed by the guys. And
Mhm.
Jay's Carr's been interviewed by the guys. That's why it works as a Fatal 4-way match. That's why it works.
But should Tapua get on there in the near future,
Well,
I'm more than happy to make it fine.
that's up to them. They have to do more interviews. I mean, I can't,
Mhm.
unless they want to come on Sportswire and take over, and I'm gonna quit, retire, and move on. It's been a great run, and then they can figure it out. I have a feeling that that's not going to happen. This is two good-looking men on a podcast. Well, I mean, let the ladies know. Let the ladies know. My buddy Ox McCoy definitely could give La El Shaddai a run for his money. He is the IMF Hardcore Champion. Yep, how you doing? How's everybody doing here? I meant between the Indie Vision host. Well, that's certainly.
Oh, okay, got it.
You can bring yours truly into Pittsburgh for the first show. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I have said this as somebody I grew up with that actually moved to Pittsburgh, and I just found it out like not too well. I knew, but not new. But Pittsburgh, unfortunately, it's kind of far from me in New York City. It's like hours and hours away. But you know what? We'll stay to it. It's like I think it's like 6 hours away at least, or something like that. Maybe longer. I don't know. Because it's the western part of Pennsylvania. Right? Pittsburgh's the western part of Pennsylvania. It's not like near Philadelphia. It's the other way up.
Yeah,
so.
the other side.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, hey, 6 hours. That sounds like a drive for you truly to make.
I don't drive a car, but you do. But that's a different show for a different time. Godrick Sandwell for championship. He is truly a wrestling treasure. Yeah, I mean, you've got the people behind you tonight. I mean, you've got a nice crowd. I mean, so that's could be a thing or two. But
thank you. I appreciate that. So,
and the man himself of Money Mark Media, Mr. Timothy Titan. Nothing more than to yours truly to get to Pittsburgh. Well, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
I'm going to second that one.
Stay tuned. We'll stay tuned. But all right. So we'll come back to some of that. Speaking of Pittsburgh, I want to talk about it. I want to put your match up here. We'll get to that. But you have a big match coming up here on June 21st, which really is a big deal because, I know we've talked a lot about Shaddai. I know we've talked a lot about Soul Taker. I know we've talked a lot about winning yesterday, but you have a match that I kind of feel like arguably is the biggest match of your career coming up because you are competing June 21st, bad reputation. You certainly don't have a bad reputation, but you may, if you don't win here, have less of a reputation. I can't say a bad reputation, but you are competing here coming up at Express Wrestling. That's going to be in just over 3 weeks from now, 3.5 weeks, and you're going to be competing for the NWA Midwestern Championship. You have to talk about this because this is a major deal. You talk about the NWA. We were talking about this last night on Sportswire. Kind of a man that looks like you a little bit. Rad Dad Radley Belmont. The GTS Intercontinental Champion. He's wrestling. If you know anything about independent wrestling, he's wrestling in Brick, New Jersey. 2 weeks from Friday, just where you're going to be wrestling. He's wrestling in Brick, New Jersey against Darius Carter, a man that's the ECWA champion, a man that's number 152 in the PWI 500 last year. So he looks like you. He's a big deal in his own right. And we were talking about the NWA. We talk about the NWA, the history of it. And here you are, Godrick Sandwell. You're wrestling for an NWA championship 3.5 weeks from now. You have to talk about the magnitude of this year coming up.
I mean, it just like when I was told about that, I was actually pretty flabbergasted when I heard the name Dante Casanova come up.
Yeah,
and that I was going to have the privilege to stand opposite him in the ring in my hometown. I'm like, wait, what? I look forward to meeting him, to greeting him, and well, if I can pull that win off and put another championship in the study, I would certainly welcome it.
It's a big deal because Pittsburgh is certainly a town with a lot of legacy. It's a lot of heritage. We think about Pittsburgh as being one of those towns. It's kind of both. It's kind of a WWF town, but it also had NWA legacy. We think about the name Shane Douglas. We talked a lot about him with Gary Wolf. We talked about Bruno Sammartino here in the past. And, Pittsburgh, Kurt Angle, most certainly. And for you to wrestle for an NWA championship in Pittsburgh, I just think that this is the magnitude of this is just, it's massive.
It is absolutely surreal to me to be able to say that I'm going to get to do that in a very short amount of time, and to say that I'm looking forward to it. I know I said it a moment ago, but it's just like that doesn't even say it right. But I don't know how else to. I really don't.
So how do you get yourself, like, I know we've talked a lot about big matches, right? Took a lot of big matches with you recently, really the last few months on Sportswire. But how do you then, like, get prepared for this? How do you get, like, ready and just, hey, I can go out there and do this? And just because of, it's hometown, you're going to probably have a lot more people watching. Express Wrestling, it's your venue anyway. You certainly do very well there. You're the Three Rivers champion. But how do you just psych yourself up here and not let the nerves just overwhelm you?
Well, obviously, any time at the gym is great to kind of shake that out. I have been studying some tape on Mr. Casanova, at least any that I can find readily, to kind of maybe see if there's any subtle nuances or maybe even a couple of quirks that maybe it's like, oh, okay, when he does this, he does that, so maybe I could take advantage. But mostly, I think it's going to be a matter of just try not to get too awestruck at what I'm saying, because honestly,
I put it up here right now. I put it up. This is literally like, you're dealing with and looking at something completely different than you've seen in your career.
Yeah, to say that I'm awestruck would be quite apropos at the moment. Again, I'm familiar with his work. I'm getting more familiar with it. It's just mind blowing. It really is.
Well, I think that you're going to certainly do what you need to do best. And yeah, just looking at what this man has done, and you see just the success, and you see there it is. There's that championship. There it is. And you're competing for it. You have that opportunity. What would that mean to you at 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania? Bad Reputation, Express Wrestling, June 21st, 3.5 weeks from now, to win that NWA Midwest Championship?
Well, should that be the case? Should I be able to pull that McKeesport miracle off, shall we say, not to be too cliche, we may have to change the name of the show from Bad Reputation to Reputation Going Through the Roof.
Now, we talk about, listen, you being in the stratosphere, you all of a sudden going and being that everybody says on this platform, oh, Godrick, yeah, I know him. There was a guy today I spoke with on Facebook Messenger, and he's like, oh, Godrick, yeah, I heard good things about him. Yeah, everybody that comes on here, yeah, Godrick. But now it's not just here. It's everywhere that'll go, oh, Godrick, yeah, now he's an NWA champion. An NWA champion. And you have that opportunity here. And I know you fought like hell against La El Shaddai. I know you fought tooth and nail last night. I know you fought tooth and nail to get back the Three Rivers Championship. We're going to talk about your match here coming up in a few minutes. I'm going to put it up here on the screen before we get to everything else. But to be an NWA champion, that's just not many guys, even WWE and other wrestlers, AEW wrestlers, can't say that they've been an NWA champion. From the NWA's heritage and its legacy, it's just, you're talking about over 100 years.
Talk about immeasurable in terms of what that would mean. That's even right now, I'm still having a hard time kind of processing all of this. It's just like, wow, I can't believe that I was selected for such an opportunity. I'm just like, wow.
He's an MLW star. So he's wrestling like you're talking about now. Welcome to the big leagues. You're talking about now guys that he's in the ring with that people watch on TV. You're talking about people that you see just all over the place. When you talk about a show now with Al Snow, Tony Gunn, a lot of people know who he is. I mean, you talk about OVW. I mean, you're talking about like he's in there with the big boys. He's in there with people that you want to see on TV. And you have that opportunity now to go out and compete against him coming up in just over 3 weeks. I think that this is your moment. It's like last night we talked with Raddad about Darius Carter. It's the same thing. He's got that moment June 13th coming up. You have that moment June 21st.
Yes, I do. And it's nerve-wracking, especially right now, but I'm honestly, June 21st cannot get here fast enough. I'm so looking forward to this.
You should. You should. This should be like, this is your moment to not just show people here. Yeah, we know Godrick. Godrick's great. I watch him. He can do great things in the ring. He's one of the very best technically. Godrick's everywhere. He wants it. But now you have a shot to say, hey, I belong. I'm an NWA champion. I take it from a man that, look at what he's done. Look at the size of him. They call him, he's a jaguar. He's literally a jaguar. You may be the gentleman of exquisite caliber, but you're going to have to show that a gentleman of exquisite caliber has got a little bit more gas in the tank than even a jaguar.
Well, talk about a big cat, huh?
Well, you know what? That was Ernie Ladd, but you probably studied some of his NWA footage. It's just like my buddy D Savage is here. He's in Battlefield Pro Wrestling, and he's learning from the Inoue family. He's a guy that's coming up the ranks, and he's also on his way. He's here Monday night. I hope you tune into him Monday 8:00. He's going to tell us about what he's doing, and I think you have another opportunity to do the same thing, and I think that it's going to show the world just who you are and what you've done. And I think that the best is yet to come.
Well, come June 21st, I'm going to show Mr. Casanova what a gentleman can do.
Well, we're going to certainly find out. And let me get to some comments because I want to show you a match here on the screen. I want to say hello here to a few people. Yes, super proud of those accomplishments. You should talk about them. Yeah, well, I am talking about them. I want to talk about them in a minute. Yeah. Godrick, I'm thankful to call that man a friend. Yes, we are. Let me get to Daniel Tafua. I will battle for my spot because that Indie Vision Championship was mine. My red door is open, and it's time to bring nightmares to my foes and stand in my way. It's my time. Well, it might be. Since Daniel Tafua, well, he wants a #1 contenders match. So just to let you know, we were talking about people that have been on the Indie Vision podcast, and there's been 4 of them so far. And Godrick came up with the idea of a fatal 4-way #1 contenders match, the Indie Vision Championship, and Daniel Tafua hasn't yet been on the Indie Vision podcast. I want to say hello to my friend Anastasia Rosinia, all the way out there from California. Yep, she's very excited. I'm excited to see that. Yep, thank you for that. And I mean, definitely thank you for that. And that definitely makes my day, and hopefully it makes everyone else's day. But that makes my day, definitely. And hopefully she'll know that. But definitely. Definitely stay tuned, and maybe Joshua Hessam as competition, but shout out to him, and we'll see. But let's get some more comments. I never won it, but I'll win it against anyone to go get a spot in for the Indie Vision Championship, no matter what, because that championship is rightfully mine. Well, you know what? He battled hard for that. There's no question that he's right in that he battled hard for that. He was right there with Mickey Knuckles and Soul Taker, and but it was Pepper Pride that walked away with that championship, and that's. There it is. And D Savage, who was again 814 Battlefield Pro to the Pennsylvania. Yep, we know Savage.
Actually, I've gotten a chance to speak with Mr. Savage a couple of times. He's an interesting fellow, to say the least. I'd like to sit down with him some more whenever I get a chance.
Maybe they want to book him in Money Mark Media. Maybe they want to book him. How far is he from Pittsburgh? I don't know how far he is. Maybe he'll let us know. No, he's in the chat. He could just tell us, hey, Timothy Titan. I'll share his profile to Timothy Titan. Maybe Timothy Titan will take a look. He's a big guy, a lot of tattoos. He'll probably want to book him. He'll book him.
Well, or if not, I can always go to him. I have zero issue with that.
Well, maybe we can go halfway. I mean, what's the
I like
halfway?
to think it.
All right, well that was good, but all right, so we'll take care of that. Let me show you match. I want to get a chance to talk about it here. Well, I got a little more time. I'm gonna sync it up here, so let me pull it up from where we are. And if you are here, please follow our friends over at LAW. Check out LAW before I put up the link here. If you are here, Indie Vision Network, by the way, go check them out. Maybe they want to interview Mr. Savage. I'll certainly connect. LAW's YouTube page. Go out there, give them a sub. And now let's talk about your match here you just had at Express Wrestling before we move on to the show. So obviously, let me move a little bit forward, but there we go. Let's come back a little bit. Here we go. Let me see. Let me go a little further. All right, there we go. All right, let's go from here. All right, so talk to me about your opponent. Talk to me about this match and why we were talking off the air, how you really were excited to talk about it.
Well, me and Mr. McCoy, we haven't met too much in that very squared circle outside of Berg Brawl, of course. But sometimes when you get a taste, you just want a little bit more. And as you can see, he challenged me to a pose off, which I don't know was in his best
Yeah, I don't.
interest.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you were winning that one, but the good news is that they don't book matches off poses, at least as I recall.
Of that, I am most grateful, but I will digress on the issue. But I had to give it my very best and show him what McKeesport has to offer.
Well, yeah, though the fans are definitely behind you there. That there's no question of. They're definitely behind you, and you've used some of your athleticism and your agility to walk away from some of that, and that's where your opponent decides to, well, let's just say, give himself a little bit of a taste of what he's saying.
Well, as I had asked a fan just a moment ago, I did ask, is that his way of saying he's a sore loser?
Well, you
But
guys are going back and forth. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's trying to play mind games with you. That's obviously his strategy going into a match like this, figuring that maybe that's a way to get you off your game a little bit.
that's going to be a little harder to shake me mentally than most people think. You take a little one look at the skin, you think you know what's
Oh,
underneath,
well,
and
there,
just
you
like
are a
that,
gentleman of exquisite caliber, and you've got your own intensity and intelligence, and nice counter there. And definitely now you're showing him what you bring to the table, and some really nice mat work there.
I appreciate that. I will never take anything away from Mr. McCoy. He's a fierce competitor in his own right.
Oh, there's no question that, yeah, he's obviously got a great look and he's great in the ring. And it's obviously you can see what you're doing here to get him off his game a bit and use your own athleticism here. You know, because you've been in the ring with maybe some really big opponents of late, do you feel like that prepared you for an opponent like this?
In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Being with the bigger guys, it makes you obviously physically a little bit tougher. However, going from an opponent, say 260, let's say for instance, coming down to somebody that's a lot closer to my size,
Yeah.
there's a lot more configuration you have to throw into it because Mr. McCoy is a fierce competitor. He's strong, he's fast, he's
Absolutely.
maneuverable like I am. So there's more to it than just simply brute force.
But you've been in there with Shaddai. You've been in there with certainly Jace Carr. You've been in there with different types of opponents. You've been in there with bigger matches. So let me ask you then, do you look at this as a tune-up to what's ahead here these next few weeks? You've got two really big matches coming. Obviously, we spoke a lot about them tonight. Soul Taker and then Dante Casanova. So do you look at this as kind of a tune-up for those guys?
Honestly, I would say no because that might imply the idea that I would look past Matt McCoy, and that is let me assure you, that is a big mistake to make. You keep your sole focus on our boy, and it's no ploy. Don't be coy, because that is Matt McCoy indeed. He keeps New York on a very good lockdown, from what I understand. So I will not take him lightly ever.
Well, I could see that right now, but good news for you is he was going to basically pounce your head in, and well, you got out of the way there, and now you used your own athleticism, and you're battling outside here, which we don't see you do too often, certainly in Express.
Well, if he wants to go outside, I'm more than happy to oblige, but I do prefer to stay within the confines of a hallowed ground. A little bit more preferential,
Yeah,
but
well, that obviously, I think your neck definitely wanted you to go outside from there because you definitely felt something there, and it wasn't, let's just say, what you had hoped for. But obviously, referee counts, and we see the match go certainly in a direction that favors Mr. McCoy, and we're watching Matt McCoy versus Godrick Sandwell here from Express Wrestling, the most recent show. And if
oh
you
dear Lord.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, that hurts, right? It hurts.
oh,
Yeah.
that hurts me even just watching that again. Ow.
Well, I go back to months ago when you had an injury here on here. So hopefully we don't get to that level again, but that might certainly, get you to that state. But there's no question that he's just got sheer size and force, and he's definitely somebody that is now working you the way he wants to in order to get this match in his favor.
Yeah, he indeed is, at least for now, anyways.
Well, I mean, that's obviously
Oh,
for those who don't know, you'll see the outcome. But yeah, he definitely, let's just say, should have tried a little better there. But yeah, don't try this at home. And obviously, you're still dealing with your own pain in itself, and you're trying to get back up. But that crowd's always behind you. And I know that crowd's going to be so important for you in this match, but definitely coming up on June 13th and June 21st. And I could see that you're going to need them. You're going to need them there, and you're going to need them here.
well, if that crowd is going to be behind me, I'm always appreciative of that, and I will continue to fight for their honor. That
Well,
is a
you're going to have
gentleman's
to
right.
fight a little harder here to get in this match, but I think you guys are sort of, I think, challenging each other to a duel. But I think it looks like he's got the a bit of an upper hand here, and there's no question that this is not where you want to be right now in this match.
Yeah, indeed not. But again, Matt McCoy, never take anything away from him. He holds New York down for a reason because he is
And that's going to definitely hurt on the side. There's no question that is that bump definitely hurts. Definitely, kids, don't try this at home.
yeah. Please and thank you, because I assure you that did not tickle for about a week.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I'm not definitely tickling you anytime soon. There's no
Please
question
and
about
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, no, I don't plan on doing that, but that's okay. But he certainly listened. I mean, he's definitely working. He's working this to his advantage, and you've got to try to find a way to combat some of that. And certainly, you got out of that. He counted 1, 2, the referee, but you were able to. By the way, that referee familiar, huh? Familiar face.
Yeah.
We watched that
No,
match last time. Ring a bell. I mean, I don't think that's Tommy Horror. I don't think that's Kevin from Ring Crew. I think
it
that
is
that's
not.
Timothy Titan as a referee. So he had the striped shirt on. And what did you think about Timothy Titan as a referee?
I mean, when they told me that was going to be the case at first, I was actually in a mild amount of disbelief.
I
But
was too, because I mean, some people were saying, "Well, is his career?" I thought his career was over.
well, as an in-ring competitor, perhaps, but they say in this crazy business that we occupy, you never truly stay away.
No, there's no question about that. But certainly Timothy Titan is the referee here, and so it didn't bother you that maybe Timothy Titan could, be less impartial referee? No, not at all.
I would say no, because I've known him for quite some time. We've always had a good
He
rapport
was
between
polite,
each
and he
other.
wanted you to win against Shaddai. He kept predicting you were going to beat him.
And I do appreciate that, and I'm sorry I did not reward that faith, but next time I swear to everything was
Oh, I know. We'll get there. We'll
Yep.
definitely get there. But obviously, Matt McCoy is definitely getting you worn down, and certainly he's definitely doing everything he can to get the upper hand and showing why he is one of those guys on the independents that is definitely a powerful and strong wrestler there. No question about that. And definitely you are in a familiar position, but certainly in those familiar positions, you've always found a way to win. And did you feel that the longer this match could go, that maybe you could find a way to eke this one out?
I always do. I for some reason I've noticed that I prefer a little who is it? Rest in peace to the greatest. Muhammad Ali would put it
Rope-a-dope.
best.
Rope-a-dope. It was the
Yeah, a
rope-a-dope.
little bit of rope a dope and one of the quotes I'm gonna have to paraphrase here, so forgive me, but instead of beating you right out of the gate, like say Mike Tyson or George Foreman, rest in peace to him as well.
Yep, just passed away not too long ago. Yep.
Hmm. Like I'm not going to beat anybody on power. I know that. I'm not going to beat anybody with my size advantage because I don't really have that. But what I can do is grab a hold of you, maybe not necessarily wear you down initially, but I can drag you into deeper water, deeper water, deeper water. And then that's where I've got you.
And that's kind of what is a theme, at least in Express, is that the longer the match goes, you can find a way, especially with that crowd. And that crowd is going to be extremely important for you coming up at Excel at Express Wrestling. And I know I'm going to be talking a lot about that with Tommy Horror, by the way, this Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Definitely you're going to want to be there for that. And also Timothy Titan will be here to talk about the Excel Money Mark Media Show here, which that'll be on June the 9th. He'll be here at 9:30 p.m. But you come back here and you're certainly showing a little bit of what we know from you, and whether it's that devil in the blue coat or whatever it is, but you find a way with every inch that you've got to try to just take this man down. And there you go. You can just see it in you right now that you've got a second win right now.
Like I said, I've noticed that's become one of my specialties of recently. I don't know what it is. Get deep enough into a match, I start hearing that crowd, and that's probably exactly what it is. It's the crowd that gets to me, that just wills me forward, and I cannot resist that call. If they need me to take this,
You've doubted it sometimes here on this platform, but in 2125 Beacon Street, especially in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, they're just so loyal to you, and they're just behind you. You said you've had doubts. You've said sometimes you've let them down. You've said sometimes you feel like that it's not warranted, but these fans here at Express, they will never stop believing in you. Never.
I hope so, because
No, I know so. I know so.
As long as that's the case, if there is a breath in my body and they are still behind me, I'm not going to stop.
And you certainly shouldn't stop what you're doing to Matt McCoy right now, because you are giving him a dose of his own medicine, what he did several minutes ago to you. So there's no question that you are... Boy, look at what you just did there. Oh, my God. I mean, that was just with every ounce of you in there. And, I mean, just he still finds a way to kick out. Just finds a way. You know, it's frustrating sometimes when you're in that spot, but you will do what you always do best, and that's keep fighting. But Matt McCoy isn't going to go down easily, but you have certainly worked your way back into this match, and you've got him, I think, where you're going to get him right where you want him.
Well, like I said, I will never take anything away from Matt McCoy. He's the real deal.
Oh, man, look at that. You know, you did that 619 yesterday and 325 7th Street in Parkersburg, West Virginia. You did it again, and I think the fans are starting to feel it. They're starting to feel it here right now.
As Mr. McCoy drops over my back so conveniently. I love that. That
Here
made my
we go.
life
It's
so much
coming.
easier.
It's coming. Boom, right in the middle of the ring. Right in the middle. You can feel it. Timothy Titan count 1, 2, 3, and there he is. Your winner, the gentleman of exquisite caliber, Godrick Sandwell, your reigning, defending Three Rivers champion from Express Wrestling. And it wasn't easy, but Timothy Titan, he's going to make sure he does the right thing, and he's going to award you back that championship you fought so hard for, and it was certainly worth it. It was certainly a fight that you went through, but definitely shows why you continue to remain on top as the Three Rivers champion. Boy, 619 and goes right into your finisher. And there it goes. 1, 2, 3. And the fans are everybody's, they're getting down. They love it. Yeah. It was funny. I tried. Copyright reasons, I don't think I can play the music, but it was still nevertheless a satisfying victory for you and just big win. And I think now we have momentum. We have momentum. You came on here a few weeks ago and it was more about, all right, can he do it? Can he win the big one? We were still processing that. But now, look at what Godrick Sandwell has done. He has lifted himself off the mat. Godrick Sandwell has shown tonight a different side of him, a side that now he's got wind under the bus. He doesn't have to make us believe it. He's showing us that he's done it. He's right there. And he's definitely warranted for one more shot against La El Shaddai. He's definitely warranted to be in that ring with the El Jaguar himself, Dante Casanova. Bad reputation, June 21st for the NWA Midwest Championship. He's definitely warranted to go one-on-one with the Soul Taker. Guess what? Godrick Sandwell's soul definitely matters. And guess what? Godrick Sandwell's going to make sure coming up here at Money Mark Media and Excel Wrestling Show that, you know what? He's definitely going to show he's the one that matters getting that W. And certainly we know Godrick Sandwell is going to be coming to a wrestling ring near you and is going to continue his journey to the top. And if you want to go see more Express Wrestling content, hit Joshua Hessam's YouTube button. Before I get to some other things, hello to Savage. And yes, you are working Soul Taker. Yes.
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am.
Maybe you'll work Mr. Savage. I'll ask him that Monday night. I will definitely ask him. And I heard McCoy and thought you were talking about me. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of McCoys, but there's also the band The Real McCoy. They had a couple of hits in the 90s. And if you were dancing, you probably would have got it, The Real McCoy. Yeah, it's just, another night. But that match on the screen is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Pepper won by fluke, but congratulations to Miss Pride, Miss Harpy Queen. P.S. That was the greatest performance and greatest match of all time. So obviously, Daniel Tafua's got unfinished business, and maybe we will see Daniel back on Sportswire, I'm sure. I rose from the ashes of a loss once, and I'll do it again. It's a good point.
Of that, I have faith in Mr. Phoenix.
Yes, and hit the sub button for Mr. Hessam. And obviously, we've definitely talked a lot tonight here. Definitely, this has been, and I'm going to say it before I give you final thoughts. Last time you were here, it was almost like trying to believe that you were there. Maybe you didn't win at cease and desist, but really the aftermath is that Godrick Sandwell, yes, Godrick Sandwell can win. He's right there. He's shown what he's done going toe-to-toe with La El Shaddai, that he's there, showing what he did by defeating Matt McCoy, showing who he's going to be up against here coming up, the Soul Taker, and one Dante Casanova, that he's here. He's not going anywhere by a long shot. Sure, he was knocked onto the ground. Sure, he was put on the mat, but he got up off the deck, and he's fighting. He's fighting, and he's fighting because he showed last night the aftermath was LAW's here on the big stage. LAW isn't going anywhere. Godrick Sandwell represented for LAW. Godrick Sandwell represented for Express Wrestling. Godrick Sandwell is going to represent for Excel Wrestling. And not only could he be adding maybe down the road an LAW championship to his resume, but maybe even an NWA Midwest championship in addition to, oh, by the way, that Three Rivers championship in Express Wrestling. Definitely Godrick Sandwell, Angels and Demons. Salutation, this is that Godrick Sandwell, he's definitely in the ring a lot better wrestler than a fifth grader. And I promise you here coming up, he's going to show the world by the time he's back on Sportswire Radio next month that he's going to be a main event player for a very, very long time.
And I couldn't have said that any better myself. This gentleman will stay as long as he's wanted, and even should a time come that he's not, I'm sticking around anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what here. I know we've spoke a lot tonight, and I know we're going to resume this conversation a couple of different times. We're going to have Tommy Horror, 9 o'clock Sunday. I'm sure you're going to be a topic, a big topic. Timothy Titan is back, June 9th. You're going to definitely be a topic there. D Savage is here Monday night. Yeah, I'll probably work you in. Michael McMoney is going to be back here in a few weeks. Yeah, you'll be talked about. But I have no doubt coming up, you'll have some final words here. So first of all, give me your final words for the Soul Taker here coming up June 13th, 2 weeks from now, and you're home away from home, 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania, Excel Wrestling.
Well, as it stands currently, that is the next stop for yours truly. As for anything else, who's to say? But as far as the Soul Taker goes, well, no souls may matter to you. You may carry a shovel to do with it whatever it is that you do. I really don't want to know, to be quite frank with you, but the bottom line is this. I understand that you have claimed many souls along your pilgrimage, many souls with which, again, I don't know what you do with, and it's not really going to matter to me
I don't
because
think I'm going to ask you about where he puts the souls or stores them.
Yeah, I'd really rather not know.
Yeah, I didn't meet you fully.
But I promise you that this nobler soul, that this soul of a gentleman, this soul of a devil in a blue coat, or who knows, maybe even something else a little bit more whimsical, maybe something a little bit more of the heavens, perhaps, it's not going anywhere, Soul Taker. It's staying right here.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, the forecast is that Godrick Sandwell, he's going to definitely deal with those clouds of the Soul Taker, and he's going to bring in, well, a little bit of thunder in his own right. June 13th, Money Mark Media presents alongside Excel Wrestling a first-time match. Doors open 6:30, bell time 7 o'clock. Only $15 general admission. Front row seats $20. I just went to see Mission Impossible, Final Reckoning, IMAX. That costs more money than that. I'll tell you what, you're going to definitely want to see that. There's no question that's going to be on my arsenal, and I'm going to have plenty to be talking about these next few weeks with that. So we'll certainly see about that. I have to ask you, do you have any final words for Dante Casanova, June 21st?
Well, as far as the Jaguar is concerned, you may be quite the big cat, I must say. Luckily for you, I'm actually a little bit of a cat person myself. Maybe not a Jaguar specifically, but
Maybe
I'll
not
give
Tommy
it my
Horror's cat, but you're a cat person.
Yeah, I haven't met Tommy Horror's cat. I might want to rescue the little Dickens now that you mention it.
Ooh.
But be that as it may, for Mr. Casanova, I'm looking forward to you and me meeting for the very first time, actually ever. Really. Yeah, I've never had the chance to speak with you, to see you in person, anything like that, which is a little bit disappointing. But our fated day comes, June 21st, and that day I will relish and look forward to from here until then.
Pillar to pillar, it's going to be a match. I tell you what, I can't wait for, we're going to be talking a lot about that, and it's going to be a stacked card. Trust me, there's a lot to talk about here the next few weeks with an NWA championship Godrick Sandwell is competing for. What a last few weeks for him, and I can't wait to see what happens there. And oh, by the way, on June 13th, we already know what's happening between the one Dave Jameson, the Psycho Killer, against this guy that used to be named Fuego del Sol, KJ Orso. I mean, it's going to be, we have a lot to talk about there when it comes to June 13th, and I'll get into it with Tommy Hara. Was there something?
I'll say, in all honesty, if you wouldn't want to come see me and the Soul Taker, that's perfectly fine. But if you're not going to come for anything else, please, for KJ Orso versus the Psycho Killer, Dave Jameson, that I promise will be worth the gate by itself.
100%. I could not agree with you more on that. And I am very excited about that 2125 Beacon Street, McKeesport, Pennsylvania. I'm very happy to be donating a ticket to that, and I couldn't agree with you more. before I get
Thank
to
you.
closing thoughts, any words or final words for LAW management on maybe one more time with La El Shaddai?
Well, you kind of stole the thought right out of my head, but you know what? I'm gonna plead my case anyways.
Do it. Do it.
I don't know who from the board right now is watching this, if anybody, or will be in the near future. I know La El Shaddai fell me. I'm no stranger to this. I've had to deal with that. I've had to make peace with that. And for the most part, I have. But I will say this. Put me and La El Shaddai in the middle of that hallowed ground, in the middle of that squared circle. I don't care if it's Parkersburg. I don't care if it's Pittsburgh. I don't care if it's New York. I don't care if it's Ohio. I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's in the Malibos itself. I want just one more crack at La El Shaddai. Because I don't know if it's a code that I need to crack. Pardon the idiom here, but there's something about him, and it's like I need one more shot at him, and and I'm gonna find a way. I don't know if I'm gonna find it here or there in the videos. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But you put me in the ring with him, I'm gonna find that one moment, that one lapse, that one argument perhaps between creature and handler that will make me what I should have been that day, what I should have been the month previous, the LAW heavyweight champion. But I just need one more shot at it. If you don't want to put me on the fast track, that's fine. If you want me to earn it through a number one contenders match, that's fine. But put me in that spot. Put me there. Put me close. And that's all I need. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking.
I'll tell you what, Godrick Sandwell, you know what? He's made his case. After what he did for LAW last night, when you thought Godrick Sandwell was no, it is not yet. And just maybe he's earned that right for one more shot. 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 Godrick. 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 Godrick.
That's all I need.
Godrick.
That's all I need.
Godrick.
That's all I need. One more shot. The fans are right there. They clamor for it. They call for it. They want a new LAW champion that they can be proud of. And that is me. That is Godrick Sandwell. I will do it. I will take this beast down, even if it has to come close to killing me.
It's already shown that. Look at what you've went through. Look at what you've went through the last 3 months. Look at what you did for LAW last night. There's no question that you've still got one more left in you. One more shot. One more. One more. One more. Godrick. Godrick. Godrick.
Just listen.
Godrick. Godrick.
Those whispers are not in your head. The voices aren't in your head. They're loud. They are proud. They are in the audience. They are talking to me right now with the honorable Reverend Wright.
They said it last night in Parkersburg. They said it there. You were down. The odds were against you. It was 2-on-1 handicap. You found a way. What you did for LAW shows that you should get one more shot, one more time. Let's run it back one more time. There's nobody else that's got the case right now than you, Godrick Sandwell.
I couldn't agree more. And again, if La El Shaddai or even Tommy Horror's request is that I have to descend to any of the parts of the 8th circle to face La El Shaddai one more time, then I will pack my suitcase. I'll get Jeffrey. I'll get Sheila to drive me there straight. Because I'll be there. I will be in whatever Malibos that you want, whatever evil pocket that you claim to be from. I'll see you there. And I'll be there with every ounce of me. Whatever color coat you want, I don't care. It could be the devil in the blue coat. It could be the angel in disguise. You could be green with envy. I'll even wear red if that helps you. I'll even wear this. That's fine.
I think
I
that
don't care.
you're out there right now in LAW management and you're watching. If you're a council member, Godrick Sandwell is making the case for you. Make the match. Sandwell, El Shaddai one more time. And we know he's got big matches coming up. We saw what he just did last night. We saw what he did a few weeks ago against Matt McCoy. He's got Soul Taker. He's got Dante Casanova. Make the match. If you're a council member right now, you're hearing this. Somebody's telling you, I'm talking to horror on Sunday. It's going to be a topic. Godrick Sandwell's got to get. He's taking off the rubber band. He's taking it off. The only way we could go is he's got to get this match one more time. He's got to get this match. He may be no joke, Shaddai, but if it kills Godrick Sandwell, if it takes everything last breath from him, he wants that shot to win the LAW championship and win the big one. And yeah, we hear the whispers. Last man standing match. Yeah, it could be that.
I love it.
Daniel Tafu has definitely got a handicap match against Andrew Lovelace and Max the Hammer. It's definitely Hammer time. And, they were singing YMCA. It's fun to stay at YMCA last night with Max Hammer now. And maybe Daniel Tafu will show that song, and maybe that'll help Max Hammer lose. And then it'll just go one-on-one with something like that. We'll have to figure it out. But, yeah, definitely. We'll have to see. And, the whispers, don't forget your hat. Don't forget all of it. Yeah, don't forget all of it here. The whispers, don't forget.
I will tip my hat to that one.
Nope, don't
indeed,
do it.
Yes, indeed.
Daniel Tafu has definitely got his work cut out for him. You've got your work cut out for him. And we're going to certainly find out. Also want to wish a happy birthday to my good friend, Anthony Finkel. Anthony Finkel is certainly a moderator in the Sports Authorities group. Good friend, DPH Property Maintenance, also from the band Rust Eater. 10-year friend of mine and big supporter. And want to wish him a happy birthday. Hope he had a great day and hope that he has many more ahead. Although sorry to tell you, your New York Knicks are about to lose. But hope you have had a happy birthday. And we'll definitely see you soon. And thank you for your support over the last 6.5 years. And listen, Lee Moriarty and Dave Jameson could be a thing. First day though is got to get through the artist formerly known as Fuego del Sol. But we'll certainly get to that. And I almost don't even have anything else left to say, but do you have any closing thoughts? After what we just spoke about these last 7 minutes, I think it's as good as it gets. But if you have anything else you want to share tonight, I'll certainly give you the floor.
Just one more thing. For the LAW board, I know I said it there, but let me get a little closer than I ordinarily do. I like to keep some distance.
Yeah.
But when I say this, whoever's listening, whoever's watching, I don't care who it is, make this match. Make it official. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care where I have to go. I don't care. Just period. Godrick Sandwell, La El Shaddai needs to happen again. Just do it. Just do it.
And if you're a councilman, listen, I've got Tommy Horror here Sunday night. I'm going to ask him about it. And we're going to certainly talk a lot about it. And who knows? If you're a council member, pick that match. If you're a council member, Godrick Sandwell has made his case tonight that he and La El Shaddai are not done by a long shot. A long shot. This is far from over. There's one more left. Godrick Sandwell's got plenty left in the tank here. This is definitely one that, the Mad Hatter, he's definitely that. I tell you what, there is a lot left to prove. A lot left to prove. You're going to certainly want to stay tuned. Please go to LAW on Facebook. Go to LAW's YouTube page, Legit Alternative Backspace Videos, and let the council know. Let the council know that it should happen one more time. One more time. Godrick. Godrick, 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 and let them know. Send your messages. Send your messages to Michael McMoney. Send your messages to Pav Novak. Send your messages to Tommy Hara. You know, what match would you like? That's a question. You know what? I'm gonna ask the council that on Sunday. I'm gonna ask Tommy Hara that. I'm gonna ask, you know what? I'm gonna find out. Maybe I'll even ask Joshua Kavad. Who knows? Stay tuned.
I would be in your debt. I would.
Oh, well, don't you worry. I'm going to be asking Sunday night to Tommy Hara. So he's going to be on the spot for that. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Godrick Sandwell. You're going to get that question, and we'll see what Mr. Hara thinks. And I can't wait to talk about June 13th. I can't wait to talk about June 21st. And I can't wait to see when the next LAW show is so we can see it one more time. My friend, congratulations on all of the success. I am definitely looking forward to seeing what happens, especially June 13th, June 21st. We'll see what happens here in LAW. I am wishing you all the best when it comes to Dante Casanova. Bring home that NWA Midwest Championship. We'll see. I know you're going to make certainly your soul matter and the Soul Taker's soul matter. Coming up at Money Mark Media, Excel Wrestling's presents their show coming up on June 13th. And I can't wait to see whatever LAW has in store. And congratulations on picking up the big victory over Matt McCoy. And congratulations on bringing that big victory home to LAW last night. And I think the aftermath is that Godrick Sandwell is far from done when it comes to La El Shaddai. Thank you so much, my friend. And we'll see you with the aftermath of all of this after June 21st.
It's an honor and a privilege. Always, Reverend Bryce. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is the Express Wrestling Three Rivers champion, Godrick Sandwell, the gentleman of exquisite caliber. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. If you're here on Sportswire Radio, I'll be here time to be announced tomorrow. I have time to be announced. I'm here Thursday night with Ramrock. Ramrock is here at 10:30 Eastern time, so you'll definitely not want to miss that. And Shaddai can't run. Let's have a dog collar match. You know, maybe that, I don't know. I'll ask Hara. You know what? I'll ask Hara. McMoney's back.
Never run.
I'll ask them. I will ask them both.
He's never run away from me. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Shaddai has never backed away. He's never run from me. Not at least willfully, anyways.
But you know what?
I'll give Shaddai credit.
You know what? Maybe that's what you want. I don't know, but we're going to find out. And I certainly have a very good feeling that this is far from over. And it's going to be a big topic Sunday night, most doubtably. But please hit the sub button for LAW. Follow LAW on Facebook and let LAW know that Godrick Sandwell and Lashley Shaq, maybe we should even start a petition. If petitions need to be started, if letter writing campaigns need to be started, if phone call campaigns need to be started, call LAW. If you need to, text LAW. Text, call, email, DM, tag LAW. Whatever it is, let LAW know. Petitions might need to be started. You might need to start this. Tell your friends. Tell their friends. Tell Mary Bonahay. Tell Courtney Wood. Tell everybody you know that one more time,
just one.
El Shaddai and Godrick Sandwell needs to happen. And start that campaign now, because we're going to be talking about it certainly Sunday night. Thank you, everybody. It could be still can't, could be anything. And Zilla's rooting for you. Zilla, let LOW know. Let them know. Facebook, Legit Alternative Wrestling. YouTube, Legit Alternative Backspace Videos. Comment on FUTV episodes and let them know. Go on Facebook. DM them. Comment. Tag them. Let them know. Go and message Michael McMoney. Go and message Pav Novak. Go and message Tommy Hara. Message anybody you know and tell them one more time, Godrick Sandwell and La El Shaddai. Thank you so much, everybody. Hit the sub button for us on Sportswire Radio. We'll be back here tomorrow. Time to be announced. Thursday, we're here, 10:30 with Ramrock. Sammy Nothing, 9 o'clock. But Tommy Hara is here, 9 o'clock this coming Sunday. Thank you so much, everybody, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one Corporation.